President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged. Critics blame CEO Elon Musk.
Become the target of protests across the country, and its stock price has taken a big nosedive.
And while Tesla boss Elon Musk has been busy shaking things up with his department.
Thank you very much. Wow.
United States President-elect Donald Trump's tariffs are preparing the end of Tesla in Europe. After the additional tariffs came into force, the United States stock market started the week at the lowest levels in recent years. While technology companies are the most affected by this decline, Tesla seems to be the most at risk among these companies. In recent months, Tesla sales have continued to decline, not only in the United States, but also in Europe and Asia. According to many experts, President Trump has started a trade war, and Tesla's owner Elon Musk supports President Trump in this war. However, Tesla's rapid decline in value and the impact on Musk's other companies seems to have made Elon Musk regret entering politics. But did President Trump's tariffs have such a negative impact on Tesla and naturally on Elon Musk? Stocks in the United States fell, Bitcoin stumbled, and Wall Street's fear gauge hit its highest level this year as concerns over President Donald Trump's economic policy sparked a widespread sell-off in markets earlier this week. The decline on Wall Street began in the early hours, with all three major indices opening sharply in the red. United States stocks fell throughout the day and closed in the red despite a brief rally in the afternoon. The Dow closed down 890 points, or 2.08%, at one point retreating from a loss of more than 1,100 points. The broader S&P 500 also fell 2.7%, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite lost 4%. The Dow and S&P 500 each had their worst day of the year. The Nasdaq recorded its biggest single-day decline since September 2022. The decline extended a miserable month for markets, with all three major indices erasing gains since the United States presidential election in November. The widespread sell-off was mostly driven by concerns over the impact of President Trump's tariffs. Speaking on the issue, President Donald Trump said that the United States economy will experience a transition period and refused to rule out a recession. When asked if he expects a recession this year, President Trump said, "I hate predicting these things. There is a transition period because what we are doing is so big," he said. Technology stocks led the sell-off, weighing on the S&P 500 and dragging the Nasdaq into correction territory. The S&P 500 closed down 8.6% from its record high on February 19. The so-called Magnificent Seven of tech stocks, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla, were the hardest hit. President Trump's comments that there is no need to take the recession off the table further unsettled already nervous investors, said Anthony Saglin-Bean, chief market strategist at Ameriprise. The White House said earlier this week that Trump would trigger historic growth in his second term. Since President Trump was elected, industry leaders have responded to President Trump's America First economic agenda of tariffs, deregulation, and deregulation of American energy, with a commitment to invest trillions in investments that will create thousands of new jobs, White House spokesperson Kush Desai said in a statement. President Trump delivered historic job, wage, and investment growth in his first term and is poised to do so again in his second. He said, "So how did this affect Tesla and naturally Elon Musk?" Tesla closed Monday down 15.4%. Tesla shares were on the rise after the United States presidential elections in November, but Tesla shares have fallen almost 45% this year, erasing the gains it has made since November. The company's shares have taken a big hit in recent weeks due to falling sales in Europe, as well as protests against Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk for his major role in the Trump administration. It is not just liberals and public servants who are angry with Elon Musk. Tesla's falling share price means many investors are angry too. Tesla's stock surged 91% after Election Day, peaking just before Christmas, as investors predicted that Musk and his car company would be big winners as a result of Donald Trump's second term as president. Musk was Trump's biggest financial backer during the campaign, and has since become by far the most high-profile member of his administration. As head of the Department of Government Productivity, also known as DOGE, he's seeking to make deep cuts to spending previously approved by Congress and lay off thousands of federal employees. However, the stock is down 5.6% in trading and is now down 45% from its December peak, giving back 96% of the post-election rally. Since Trump's inauguration and Musk's power grab alone, shares have lost 38% of their total value. The share price decline likely reflects concern that Musk is a much more visible and polarizing figure in the Trump administration than expected immediately after the election. Many investors thought Musk would be a more traditional advisor and would not take an active role in implementing controversial policies. Musk had enough other business interests to keep him busy, running companies ranging from Tesla to SpaceX to Neuralink to X. But the decline in Tesla's value was a sign of the headwinds facing the company, in addition to increased competition from other automakers making significant gains in their home markets, particularly China and in Europe. Whether it was a single issue or a myriad of issues that led to the decline, it is now clear that Tesla's sales woes have also dragged down its stock price, and it is unclear what could boost Tesla sales going forward. While electric vehicle sales in Europe rose 34% in January, Tesla sales fell 50%. In China, the company's second largest market after the United States, Tesla's sales fell 29% in the first 2 months of the year, according to experts. Tesla's United States sales also fell 16% between December and January, according to Cox Automotive estimates. However, it is difficult to directly attribute these declines to any reason. Because declines during this period are customary for the company usually makes a big push to hit its full-year financial results targets for year-end sales and then sees a drop in January. For example, January 2024 sales are 24% lower than December 2023 sales. Analyst Gordon Johnson said, globally their sales are booming. The sales decline in China is about competition, but in Western countries people are angry at him. It does not matter whether it is that or competition that is driving sales down in Western countries. There is very little it can do to reverse that, and we know it will not have full autonomous driving. I think this could be the year Tesla's stock collapses, he said. Even some bullish investors think Musk will miss the mark badly when it comes to Tesla's growth this year. Gene Munster, managing partner at Deepwater Asset Management, said, I think investors are coming into a new expectation of what deliveries will look like this year. 3 or 4 months ago, Musk said deliveries would increase by 20% to 30% in 2025. A month ago, he did not mention the previous target at all, and analysts and investors correctly assumed that meant that target was no longer on the table. He said, the real question with Tesla shares falling so much is how much of the decline is a reaction to Musk's political profile. During the election, it was unclear how visible Musk would be in a Trump administration. Some believed the whole Doge thing was not going to happen. At this point, Tesla investors see Musk as having more authority than Trump. And this is hurting the brand. He used his expressions. Last weekend, protests were organized in front of Tesla stores across the country. One person was arrested in Loveland, Colorado, and faces federal charges for acts of violence and possession of incendiary devices previously directed at a Tesla store. Perhaps the biggest sign of change in how badly people want to own a Tesla comes from S&P Global Mobility, which has state-by-state sales data. They divide the data into blue states, states that voted for the Democratic candidate in the last 4 presidential elections, and red states where Republicans have won 4 elections in a row. And within each group of states, they look at the loyalty rate, which is the percentage of households that have bought more than one Tesla. In blue states, the percentage of repeat Tesla buyers fell from 72% in the last quarter of 2023 to 65% in the last quarter of 2024. Meanwhile, repeat Tesla buyers in red states increased only slightly, from 47.6% at the end of 2023 to 48.2% in the last 3 months of last year. The decline in the loyalty rate of Tesla owners in blue states has caused Tesla to lose about a percentage point of market share in those states, which include some of the country's largest auto markets, such as California. A survey by Morning Consult last month showed that about 32% of United States buyers would not consider buying a Tesla. That compares to 27% in a Morning Consult survey a year ago and just 17% when asked that question in February 2021. By comparison, in the most recent survey, only 16% of potential buyers were almost certain or very likely to look at a Tesla before buying, a figure that has not changed much over the past 4 years. There have also been anecdotal reactions against Musk on social media, including videos of people booing Cybertrucks needing police escorts during the Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. as well as people endorsing acts of violence against Teslas and accidents involving Tesla stores or vehicles. So beyond concerns about liberals who might avoid buying Teslas in reaction to Musk's policies, Munster said, "There is a concern that Musk is distancing himself from running Tesla, where much of his fortune is based." Munster recalled that Musk is the chief executive officer of not only Tesla, but also SpaceX, the main owner of social media platform X, and the founder of artificial intelligence company xAI and Neuralink, which aims to implant computer chips in people's brains to control computers. Musk has really rewritten the book in terms of the capacity of leaders to do different things. That used to be frowned upon. I think there are natural limitations to what he can do. There is only so much he can do. He said, in addition, as trade tensions between China and the United States rise, there may be growing concerns that the Chinese could target Tesla for its role in the Trump administration. According to Isaac Stone Fish, Chief Executive Officer of Strategy Risks, a business intelligence firm, Beijing is doing favors and avoiding favors. Because according to Fish, the Chinese have a lot of leverage over Elon Musk and Tesla. But Tesla's critics say there is still an argument for how Musk's ties to the Trump administration could benefit the automaker. While many Teslas now feature full self-driving, which can handle some driving maneuvers, drivers still need to be behind the wheel, ready to take control of the car. Accidents involving full self-driving are still ongoing, leading to a series of investigations by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. But Musk promised that by last June, Tesla would have vehicles ready to provide autonomous operations without drivers carrying passengers in a ride-hailing service in Austin, Texas, Tesla's home base. But Uber and Alphabet's Waymo unit have already overtaken Tesla with a self-driving service in that city and expect it to expand rapidly, with the Cybercab vehicle on the road next year without steering wheels, brakes, or accelerator pedals. These promises have experts still excited about Tesla's prospects, regardless of its current sales problems. They believe the current drop in share prices is a buying opportunity for those who believe in this future. The real lock on Tesla value is in autonomy. Trump loves Musk, and Musk will get some of the things he wants, and the biggest thing is more opportunity to prove the safety of robotaxis. I think that will happen, he concluded. Others have serious doubts. Analyst Johnson says Musk has been promising for the past decade that truly autonomous vehicles are only a year or so away, and any problems in delivering on his latest promises will cause a sharp drop in his stock price, as will first quarter sales figures due in early April. Elsewhere, Nvidia fell 5%, and Palantir, another star of the artificial intelligence trade, fell 10%. When stocks are overextended on the upside, they are also overextended on the downside, said Gina Bolvin, president of Bolvin Wealth Management Group. The VIX, Wall Street's fear gauge, rose to its highest level this year. According to the Fear and Greed Index, extreme fear has been the sentiment driving markets for the past 2 weeks. This uncertainty keeps swirling around the market, Anthony Saglin-Bean said. Bitcoin fell to around 78,000 United States dollars at the start of the week, its lowest level since November as risky assets sold off. Stocks have taken a hit so far this month amid uncertainty over President Donald Trump's tariff policy on additional tariffs. The S&P had its worst week since September. President Trump announced a massive tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, but then announced a delay until April 2. He then doubled tariffs on all imports from China from 10% to 20%, and a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports went into effect on March 12. In addition, Trump said last week that he may not impose a 250% tariff on Canadian dairy products and an enormously high tariff on Canadian lumber. David Barnson, Chief Investment Officer at Barnson Group, said, "Talking about tariffs is, in many ways, worse than actually implementing them. Tariff talk, rollbacks, speculation, and chaos only add to the uncertainty. I do not believe the administration knows how the tariffs issue will play out. But if I were a betting man, I would say it will take long enough to hurt economic activity for at least a quarter or two, and ultimately result in an agreement with different countries that will leave everyone wondering why we are making such a fuss." The tariffs have not only affected the stock market. Across the United States, layoffs are rising, hiring is slowing, consumer confidence is eroding, and inflation is rising. The yield on the 10-year United States Treasury bond fell to 4.225% as investors flocked to government bonds, signaling uncertainty and concerns about economic growth. Investors will be watching the monthly inflation data to gauge whether inflation remained stubborn in February. A recession is usually defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product growth. The Business Cycle Dating Committee, the official arbiters of the National Bureau of Economic Research, says a recession involves a significant decline in economic activity that spreads across the economy and lasts more than a few months. How long this period of investor caution lasts depends on how quickly global trade clouds and the resulting threat of recession dissipate, said Sam Stovall, Chief Investment Strategist at CFRA Research.